Hey, welcome to David Smith's video blog. What I'm doing is I'm taking what I normally do on Facebook throughout the day and putting it into a video format to where I'll comment on 3, 4, maybe 5 stories during the day, and where you can listen to me talk about it rather than read comments or read a status update. This has an ulterior motive. I'll explain much later on that. But in the meantime, enjoy the comments. You'll see some funny stuff. You'll see some serious stuff, but hopefully you'll just hear the passion that I have for some of these articles or the absurdity of these articles. So I hope you enjoy. The first story today is a big kerfuffle with Netflix and Sarah Palin. Netflix, on their official U.S. Twitter site, put out a tweet that associated Sarah Palin to a Nazi regime movie where a female president comes in and she's very Nazi-like. So there was a big kerfuffle about that. People canceling their Netflix accounts, saying that Netflix is extremely liberal, associating Sarah Palin to this movie unfairly. Well, 2 things. Number 1, corporations are full of idiots. People are going to do this. Number 2, it's not the association that bothers me. It's the reaction to it. Netflix flat out denied that it existed without taking down the tweet. It's one thing to take down the tweet, but websites like twitchy.com capture this kind of stuff for that recorded history. That's the joy of the internet. You can't ever take anything down because somebody has saved it somewhere. Google caches this stuff, Yahoo caches websites, and Twitchy caches Twitter sites. So if it's out there, it's out there, no matter how quickly you take it down. So understand that. It's not what they did, it's their reaction to it. They never apologized. They haven't said, oh my God, who did that? We'll get to the bottom of it. They said it didn't happen. That's crazy. It did. We can see it. So cancel your Netflix account or not. I frankly don't care. I'm trying to get through Arrested Development, so I'm not going to cancel mine until at least the new season's done. The second article is on New Zealand's limitation of baby names. New Zealand actually has an agency that you have to pass your baby name through before they approve it. Laugh it off all you want. Yeah, you can't call your kid Hitler or Superman or whatever, but look at it this way. It's an intrusion into parenthood from the state. If we start looking at things like that, going, wait a second, is it my right to name my child, or is it something granted to me by the state? Because if the state can nix it, if the state can say no to it, then that means they control that. So they're actually, instead of a blacklist of things you can't name your baby, there could eventually become a whitelist that says these are the things that you can name your baby. And that's it. So think of the anti side of this is, what if they told you what your baby name had to be? Nobody would agree with that. So next time you laugh this off, give it some serious consideration as to how much control you want the state to have in your life. The third story is on Benghazi. And I'm going to say this before I say that. One of the best debaters I ever heard was named Frank Lowry out of Americus, Georgia. He was insanely good. He's a lawyer somewhere in Atlanta now. But what he had to do, because his partner wasn't up to the same level that he was, he basically started off his entire final speech by saying what my partner meant to say was, right? And corrected all of her mistakes. When I look at this Benghazi article, I look at Carney, and I want to just say what Carney meant to say was, he didn't say it happened a long time ago, meaning it's in the distant past, everybody's forgotten about it. I'm going to give him a break here because he's bad at his job. What he meant to say was, these people have had a lot of time to come forth. These people who were being said have been oppressed have had time to come forward, and they haven't done it. So we don't think anybody's being suppressed. I totally disagree with it, but that's what he was trying to say. He's just an absolutely weak press secretary, in my opinion, because he has to go back and correct himself a lot. And in this case, A, he didn't correct himself, and B, nobody harped on that, and that's the press's fault. And I can get into the mainstream media discussion, but when you say it happened a long time ago, what does that mean, man? What? Don't tell me that the death of an American ambassador and a couple other people being dragged through the streets with stories of sodomy and rape of the bodies means nothing. It just can't. You can't dismiss it by saying it happened a long time ago. You have to give it more credibility than that, and Carney didn't. And to me, that's the story here. Is they're trying to completely dismiss it so that it'll just go away, when in fact it's a bubbling brew that's just waiting to overboil the pot. So that's my take. Hey, the last story has to do with the morning after pill, the Plan B pill, and a New York federal judge, has told the FDA to make it available to everybody over the age of 15 and it to be sold over the counter like aspirin. Here's the problem with that. Number one, selling to a 17-year-old versus a 15-year-old, there's entirely different rights that a 17-year-old has that a 15-year-old does not. Parents have to sign off on most medications of a 15-year-old, hence they can't buy medication themselves. That's the purpose of it. Secondly, I'm not taking this from an abortion standpoint. I'm taking this from a parental consent standpoint. It has to do with the parent knowing what's going on with the child's life. Again, I'm not okay with a judge's consent, but if that's what it takes in this case, fine. Go to a judge, go to, hell, I'll even say a school nurse and get it, because of this one effect. If you just Google Plan B side effects, you'll get about 5 or 6 web pages that list the side effects, and they also list phrases like this: remember that your doctor has prescribed this medicine. Tell your doctor immediately. Any serious allergic reactions are rare, but seek medical attention. Well, if you're 15 sneaking this around your parents, you're not going to seek that attention. Yeah, the side effects seem to be minimal, but it's not for the 99.9% that I'm worried about. It's for that 0.1% of a child that takes this and has an adverse reaction that's beyond their control. Bleeding that doesn't stop, a side effect of other medication that they're taking, a physical situation going on that would be a contraindication to this pill that you just don't know about outside of the confines of a prescription or a medical professional. That's my problem with this. Comment on any of these articles as you see fit. Thank you very much.